Hey guys.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Crockers Simply Southern.
An update on
Journey.
my journey.
Yeah, no, we just got back from Houston, yesterday or the day before?
Well, we got back Friday evening, whenever that was.
Friday, late Friday evening.
About 5, it wasn't too late.
Yeah.
I mean, we left a little unexpected, I guess.
Yeah, we did.
Well, the last update you gave the folks was Tuesday on
Oh, yeah.
our day off.
Yeah,
and you
we
told
were,
them what we were expecting to do, but if you wanted to tell them what actually happened on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, went down. She and I got up real early. We didn't want to get mad out of bed, so my first appointment was at 7, and I knew it was just going to be go in there and have an injection of some kind of nuclear dye put in my arm, and then I'd leave and wouldn't be back for 2 or 3 hours. So she and I walked down, and
I was expecting y'all to wake me up to drive y'all down.
yeah, he was like, "Hey, where'd y'all go?" But anyway, we went down there, had that nuclear test done. That was about 7 in the morning, and
According to the plan, I think you weren't supposed to be back until 9:30, and we thought we were
Right.
going to have a break. But
yeah, the whole thing was when having that dye, I believe it was, where that's not the one where I had to drink. That was a different one. So anyway, I had
was a lot of
that
tests.
dye put in, and we did leave. And
Are you still peeing neon green?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, we didn't leave. We went over to eat breakfast.
with him,
No,
What's
we're
Burger
getting
King?
all the days mixed up. I
didn't
don't
we
know.
go to the cafeteria?
For lunch one day.
That was
The
That might
day
have
that
been
y'all
Monday.
walked down in the morning to get that stuff,
That was
I went to
Monday,
go
wasn't
pick
it?
y'all up because it looked like it had rain.
Oh,
Remember?
Yeah.
That's when that little storm came through.
I don't know, y'all. Monday was an all day of test, and so was Wednesday. But Wednesday you had the bone scan first
Yes,
that
had the
morning.
nuclear bone scan done.
And so in that bone scan, would you describe that to the people? Maybe some of them never had it. I don't know. It looks like a CT scan
Well,
machine,
there's a
right?
big ring, but
Yeah.
then there's also a some apparatus that they put right down, and it was almost touching my nose, and it starts from the top and just starts scanning, but it's so slow. It takes like 30 minutes, and it seemed like forever for it to clear my face.
While it was
And,
on his face, they let me go back. I was really surprised.
They said yes, you can be in there. So
I was
she
just
sat-
sitting there, and I wanted to take a picture of him so bad, but I thought, well, I don't know if you can do that in here. So I got up and I peeked around the corner at the lady sitting there, and I kind of stepped in to ask her. They went, "You can't come in here because of him." I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I just wondered if I could take a picture of him." "Probably not, huh?" She goes, "Oh no, go ahead." But it had already gone
It
past
had already
his
passed my
head where it was
face.
so close.
But that wasn't too bad. I just didn't like it just right in my nose, just almost touching it.
That was the picture that I said looks like Dad's getting his butt cheeks Xeroxed. It looked
Yeah.
like you were laying on a copy machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's when we left and we ate
Okay.
that day at the cafeteria, which was very good. They had a lot of stuff there, and pretty reasonably, priced. Then I went in and they told me to come back like at 2 o'clock or something like that to an appointment to have a CAT scan done. And so they said, what would you like to drink? And I said, I don't know. I hadn't had any peach tea in a while, so they mixed me up some peach tea and that stuff they put in there. And I thought she said, we'll come get you in about 45 minutes. So I thought, cool, so I sat there
And they let me
looked
back
on
there
the,
with him too.
yeah, we were sitting there
We had
together.
some recliners, and there was several people like camped out there.
And
And we were thinking, gosh, they forgot about us. So I went and asked her. You went and asked. She goes, no, he has 45 minutes to drink the thing.
Yeah, I said some
he has to
people-
wait 2 hours to do the test or something
right,
like
and I
that.
was like, this was like at 2:45 or whatever, and I was like, well, it's been almost 45 minutes to an hour. It's time to come get me, and That's when she had asked, and that's what they told her. So, oh no.
So we
People
just,
piddle around. It takes them
Yeah.
45 minutes to drink the whole thing. I went, what? She said, oh no, you got to be back at 4 o'clock, which was like, you know, an hour and a half later. So we stayed there, took that, and then at 7, we left
wait,
and ate, and then Matt, you took us back at 7
that was the MRI.
to get the MRI, which was about 5 blocks down.
But you
in a
didn't
different
finish telling
building.
about the CAT scan because they prepped you up and took you back and
That was all Wednesday, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They let me actually go back with him.
Oh, when I was dressing and
Yeah,
stuff? Oh,
they
okay.
undress, they give them a key to a locker to put their stuff in,
Yeah.
and then there was probably 3 ladies and you just sitting in recliners just waiting. They had warm blankets on, he was sweating,
Yeah.
and when they finally called him back to do the scan, that's when I went to sit outside, but then you finally got to leave and we went back. I don't know if we were gone long, but that's when Matt took us back. He had to drive us to the MRI.
So the
that was a
MRI
little
building
further.
was further down, and went in there, and that was awful.
Yeah.
They do put a coil in your rectum, and not pleasant, and then they pump it full of air to where it locks in, and they said it ain't going nowhere. So, but you know, I couldn't move, but because I have essential tremors, during one of the tests, he was saying, Mr. Crocker, you're going to have to quit moving, you know, and I couldn't. I couldn't. So I had to retake that test another extra 15 minutes. And I told him, I said, I can't, you know, so I told him, I said, take out stuff under my legs or let me try to relax the best I can. And I was still feeling myself trying to tremble, but they said, okay, that was a good one. So
So you were shaking like a dog doing something with a peach seed.
yeah, shaking like a dog shit peach seed. Especially when he said, take a deep breath, let the air out of that balloon that was up in the rectum. And he said, take a deep breath and let it out, and I'm going to pull it out when you let out your air. I was like, oh, man, wow. And it was, yeah, I don't like that. Some people might, I don't.
Well, of course, during that time, I was sitting back out in the lobby, and we didn't even ask if Matt could have gone in because everywhere else he couldn't. And so he texted me, you know, he was texting me what's going on, and he goes, do you think I could come in? I said, I'm just going to go ask. And the lady says, yeah, he can come in.
Because it was just a lobby, though. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah, it
like,
was a
back
lobby.
anywhere,
But
man.
even at the hospital, I don't think you can
Yeah.
do that. But anyway, he came and waited until you came out, and that was probably about 9:30, 9:45 when
Yeah,
we
it
all
was
finished
almost
up
10
PM.
So from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. all day long testing. It was tiring. We were worn out.
And that next
And
day,
then all day Thursday.
we just waited for
Yeah,
results.
we were waiting for the results at the hotel, you know, just waiting around. We actually watched the trial. It was interesting. That's what we spent our time doing.
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse trial.
Yeah, and I kept saying, because they go by the My Chart, I think you said that on the last video, on his phone, and he's looking and looking, no messages, and even Matt says, well, since it was so late last night when they got that MRI, it's probably going to be after 2 or 3 before they called. They never called.
And I sent a message in and trying to update some other information on there, and never got any return messages or anything. And so I called, and they put you on hold
Well, no, that was the next day on Friday.
on Fridays.
So
Yeah,
Thursday
so-
after
Yeah.
that, we went to go eat at the buffet.
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
went to eat at a buffet.
And we just called it a night pretty much. And
Yes.
we're expecting something early the next day, and
Nothing. And
Had
so
nothing, had
we
nothing.
she
said,
started calling about like 11ish, I guess.
Yeah,
no answer. So we said, we need to go
because
there
I was
to get some
I was on
answers.
hold for like an hour and no answer, and I hung up, dialed again, put me on hold. I set my phone down. It was another 30 minutes or so, no answer. So I called to set up an appointment, and got a hold of somebody and started complaining. And I don't know if I got transferred and it hung up. So we decided we're just going to go down there.
Well, it was frustrating. We weren't getting any answers.
couldn't get
All
any
we wanted
answers
to
at
know
all.
was, do we need to hang around? Do we need to wait? We knew we had to wait
Because
for
our
test
next,
results.
I knew our next report. My next appointment is Monday, this coming Monday the 15th at 10:40 with my oncologist. And I looked on there and it said 20 minutes, you know, and I thought, well, that's just a, you know, little short conversation. I have to wait up here in Houston to see her.
All through the weekend.
Yeah, all
for
through the
20
weekend
minutes.
and all, because we never heard anything. So anyway, I went upstairs, or we did, and was talking to some people and told them, they said, well, that's the only way you can. I said, then you need to go in there and get somebody to come talk to me. And anyway, she says, well, I'll call. And so she called, and she was on hold for like 15 minutes. I said, that's all you're going to get? I said, for an hour and a half, it was that way. And I said, all I want to know is, do I have to stay here in Houston, or can we leave and come back? And so they finally, she got fed up with waiting, listening to that same message. She walked into the back, and then next thing I know, a nurse comes walking out and said, you know, asked us to come in. And she said, I'll try to help you. And I said, good. We just wanted to talk to a human being. And she was the most helpful nurse, person, contact that we had the whole time. She was very good, and I sure wish we had gotten her name.
I know.
She wasn't even part of your.
She wasn't even on our team. She works for an entirely different thing, but she just knew that I was upset, and so she was talking to us. And so she was able to get the ball rolling, I believe. And so we
decided to go home.
Well, what happened was she says, well, I told her, I said, I didn't want to have to stay in Houston, you know, through the weekend and everything just to see my oncologist, you know, for just a checkup, a follow-up. And I said, I don't even know if I have cancer. And
That's what he told her.
anyway, she just kind of looked at me like, yeah, well, okay. So she said, do you want me just to have her teledoc to you, you know, Zoom or whatever it is? And I said, yeah, that way we can just go on home, you know, and we can talk to her Monday, and then I'll find out from my other doctor, you know, what they're going to do, you know, with anything else.
I wish you
So-
could have seen the look on that lady's face when she was young. When he said, I don't even know if I have cancer. And
She's
then
kind of, well,
he described the protocol.
she said, well, yeah,
somewhat.
the things show that, you know, in corpus, you know, the biopsies, you have cancer and this and that. And I said, okay, yeah, I may have cancer, but I said, I don't know the situation right now. And that was the reason they had done the whole battery of tests to begin with, my primary doctor. So anyway, she says there's places there that, you know, are similar to the ones that were reported before. And then, but she didn't get into it, you know, as much because she's not on my team. So she just said that she would tell our oncologist, you know, leave a message that I'm going to be teledoc to her. And I said, fine. So I went out. We were going to leave, and I told him, I said, you know, they didn't mean to be so upset, but I said, I didn't want to have to throw away $1,000, you know, for, you know, over the weekend and 5 days of not doing anything in Houston. I said, there's, you know, this is ridiculous.
And I'd gotten a little emotional, and
Yeah.
I told her, I said, she was so sweet. I said, I know you're not a counselor, but I could sure use a hug.
And she got up and she just hugged and hugged and hugged her.
I thought that was the sweetest thing.
But anyway, she was very helpful, and I appreciate everything she did. And so we left.
We made that decision to
Yeah.
get that phone call on Monday, and then
Right, and we'll just go from there. But I said, we're not staying in Houston. So we left and was,
before we could even get out of Houston.
yeah, we weren't quite out of Houston yet. We were on the south side, and my phone rang, and I answered. Well, it was my primary doctor, Dr. Ward. He said, well, I hear you were hotter than a wet hen on him, something like that. And I just laughed and I said, yeah. I said, I just want to know what was going on. He says, well, I didn't know anything about it until you brought it to our attention. Somebody dropped the ball on getting him the results and things like that. And he was very apologetic and explained everything and, you know, kind of said he'd take care of what the problem was, you know, with the communication.
Do you want to share with them that their readings weren't quite the same?
Yeah, he said that, because I was very adamant about the sphincter, my urethra sphincter being completely surrounded, and they said it was inseparable.
That was
the Corpus Christi pathology report and the radiology and all that stuff. It was saying that yes, it's inseparable because it's completely surrounded. And I was telling Dr. Ward, I said that was one of my main concerns was continence, you know, issues by having the sphincter removed with the radical prostatectomy. And anyway, he was saying, well, you know, there's ways to help alleviate issues like that, you know, surgically and prosthetically. They can implant a sphincter and things like that. But he said that's down the road if it has to. So when they got all the results, he told me, and in his notes, he said, well, contrary to Corpus Christi's report, he does not see anything involving the sphincter. He said it's more in the gland itself, the left side of the prostate, and it's pushing up against the bladder. He says it may be some infiltration towards the bladder that he, you know, is hoping he can go out, you know, and resect all that out, you know, and hopefully not have to, you know, recreate my bladder. But he said he would prefer, and I did too, about having a surgery done to go in and correct what there might be. But it looks like that protocol that I have been taking all along evidently has done something.
So you don't really feel like a mistake was made in Corpus? You
No,
think
I think it was
God's
there.
healing you?
I think that the sphincter, because I was so concerned about that, that was one of my big conversations with God, was the sphincter issue. And because I didn't want to be wearing some type of bladder control the rest of my life, you know. And so evidently he is allowing something to happen, because this doctor's saying, as far as they can tell, and it's a much more sophisticated MRI because of that coil they used, they get a more clearer picture. He says it doesn't look to be really involved. If anything, it's more upper towards the base of the bladder. So I feel like that's good news, that something is happening, that it's reducing somewhat. Maybe we're scheduled for the 22nd of December to have my surgery. If he has an opening on the 8th, he said that he would let me know. But he said, for sure we'll aim for the 22nd. And I'm hoping by the time I keep taking this protocol for another month, that when they do go in there to resect some of the leftover lesion or whatever that might be there, it's going to be greatly reduced so that he doesn't have to do any type of really repair to anything. It'd be just natural. So I think that it's looking good as far as my heart, my feelings, my mind is concerned. I'm not going to fret it either way. If I have to have surgery or not, that's.
Because I did ask him. I said, why wouldn't you request another MRI or such, when you get there before you have the surgery? And you said you really didn't mind them doing the exploratory surgery.
Right, because if there's anything in there that is abnormal, or a cyst or anything, that might be obstructing my urinary, just go ahead and clean it up while you're in there. But as far as cancer, it's going to be so drastically reduced that it'd be easy to take care of, I believe. And so I got another month to do that. So it'd be a good Christmas present.
Yeah. And you know, I didn't even think of it that way, like, oh, bummer, we'll be there over Christmas. It was just like, yay, we can get in before January.
Right.
You know, and
because they were saying the lady, the nurse that had talked to us so well, she's with a different prostate group, and she says, oh gosh, we're booked up way through January. You'd be lucky even then, you know.
And I know you told this in the last video, but it bears repeating that this doctor appears to be like the best. He's done over
that's
3,000
what they say.
of these surgeries.
Yeah, well over 3,000 of these things, and I like him. He just seems like a good fella. And
well, when they hung up on the phone, you know, everything is recorded right away on my chart. So he's reading it as Matt's driving us home, and he goes, oh look, the doctor's already posted on here. And he goes, after a lengthy 40-minute discussion with Mr. Crocker, or something that's out.
Yeah, he said, he brought to my attention, you know, that there was a communication failure. And
so he made up for it with that phone call.
yes,
He did.
personal phone call.
You know, if he feels
he says,
good
I just
about
want to take care of you. He said, I want to get whatever there is in you out. So, you know.
Well, Matt, I'll speak for myself. I know when Dad feels confident like that, it helps me, my mental. I believe it. He believes in it. I believe in it. I believe God's doing all of it to heal him. I mean, doesn't it help that he has a positive attitude?
Well, yeah, but that's how he always is about everything.
I know.
You can't keep this old dog down.
But anyway, we that's just what we're holding on to. So I started my procedure again today, the protocol. Starting back up. I took a week off. So
We were just exhausted Friday night, even though we got back at 5. We did watch Jason's live, and I think I went to bed pretty much after that. And then
Yeah, you did. You went there early.
yesterday we went fishing. We did video, but we didn't catch anything. And I don't know if you'll do anything with the footage, but
I don't know. There's
it was
lot
just
of
a
it, but
beautiful day. The temperature was perfect. The water was beautiful. We didn't catch a dang thing, but it was
it
awesome.
was a great afternoon.
I loved it. And then we had wanted to do this video yesterday, but we
Right.
We're relaxing.
Just relaxing, having a fun time with Matt, out fishing, good day. I think we're gonna go fishing a little later this afternoon. I think out here, he and I and Mom are sitting out here at the cabana by the barbecue pit, and something big just comes splashing up. So I said, man, that looked like a bass.
Yeah, he said the first time, and I heard the splash, I saw the ripples, and I was like, man, I don't know. And then
You saw
about
it.
5 minutes later,
Yeah,
in the
big
same spot,
splash.
it just went up, came out of the water, and flipped, went back in.
Yeah, it
So-
looked like a bass to me.
So that pond has been a real blessing to us. We
Right.
enjoy it. Gives us something to do, and it's exciting to know there's all kind of fish in there. And
at least some fish.
yeah. I hope that you guys will stay tuned to follow George on his journey, find out what happens, and in the meantime, we'll just be putting out regular videos of whatever.
Just go day by day until then. And like I said, I truly believe that it is affecting something. So I'll be talking to my sister-in-law about it. I sent her information, and she says, sounds great. Call me, let's talk about it.
Oh, good.
So we'll keep y'all informed. So, but next videos will be totally different.
Or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, if it is, it'll be a long time before we put a video out.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just catch y'all a little later.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.